Today I want to make your guitar journey the best it can possibly be, so let's learn to own the most powerful make or break words when it comes to learning guitar. That's passion and patience. So stay tuned. Hello and welcome, friends, to this episode of the Play Guitar Podcast. I'm Lee, and this is the podcast that's determined to make you a better guitar player. No matter if you're just starting out or you've been playing for years, this is the show that will help you become the guitar player that you always wanted to be. If you are new here, make sure you subscribe to the podcast and check out the description for all of the links from the show. Okay, before we get started, this is just a little early bird announcement just for listeners here to the podcast. My holiday special starts soon. I'm bringing back the Solos That Make Sense and Unlock the Thrills of Lead Guitar bundle this year. This is something I did back in the summertime. Took it away. It's coming back for the holidays. It's a great 1-2 punch for anyone who wants to play lead guitar. Unlock the Thrills. This one is my lead guitar intro training. It's 3 different master classes. One on scales and modes, one on locking the fretboard, and one on how to make memorable guitar solos. And then for Solos That Make Sense, that's the big deep dive into chord tone training, how to match your chord progressions perfectly with your lead lines. I brought it back just for the holidays, and I am keeping the bundle at $57 for both the training course and the master classes. So if you missed it over the summer, now is your chance to take your lead guitar playing to new places. And before we get started as well, I've been to the dentist today. So if I sound a little funny, look a little funny on YouTube, that's why. A lot of dental work today. Okay, occasionally on this podcast, I'll start off with this. If you are new here, this is a place to feel good about yourself. You can feel empowered that you can get better. And it's a place that makes you think about what you're really doing and whether your efforts are getting the results that they deserve. I say that, mostly on a podcast that I'm dealing with encouragement. I think that encouragement is extremely important for guitar playing. Just hearing that there's someone out there who knows you're going to be able to do this and tells you that is very, very important. I encourage you to follow your dreams with the guitar. This is not a lost cause for you. I've helped many, many, many so-called lost causes become very good guitar players. If you are feeling lost, if you're feeling defeated, if you're feeling confused, number 1, you're not alone. And number 2, you're doing something that's very difficult. Don't forget that. It's easy to forget that you're taking on a challenge when you see other people playing and it looks effortless to them. It looks easy to them. For some reason, we always focus on what we can't yet do. And then what do we also do? Completely ignore how far that we've come on the guitar. I think it's because we're constantly comparing our playing with people that are farther along than we are. That's ridiculous. You can't do that. It's 2 different things. If you're always down on yourself because you aren't where you dreamed you'd be yet, you're missing the point. You're missing the most special treasure of this road that you're on. The journey. Think about it. When you decided to take on the guitar, you became part of something. You've got brothers and sisters all over the world who share something in common with you. You're all doing something extremely difficult that a lot of people don't understand. This isn't something that's going to make you rich. It's very rare that learning guitar is going to make you famous. So why would you do it when you found out how hard it is? Well, it's hard to make an episode of this podcast that's for everyone. There are listeners to this podcast from every stage of playing, extreme beginners all the way to extremely advanced players. This episode, I can safely say, is for every single one of you. One of the things we all share is we all break down every so often. We hit some breaking points on this journey. So I'm going to give you a few of the most common guitar breaking points. The first one is early frustration, and that's with progress. Beginners often face frustration when progress seems slow and they struggle with the basics, basic chords and basic techniques. So what do you do about that? You emphasize the importance of patience, break down lessons into manageable parts, and celebrate the small wins. How about physical discomfort? That can take you right out of this. Guitar playing can initially be physically uncomfortable. You get sore fingers and hands, calluses. What do you do about that? Well, you've got to get encouraged to build these calluses gradually. Practice proper hand positioning and then take breaks when you're feeling pain. Next is lack of motivation. The fun that you have playing guitar in the beginning can start to go away, leading you to not want to practice very regularly. How can you fix that? Getting some short-term goals and some long-term goals. Vary your practice routines up. Keep things interesting. Find ways to connect with the joy of playing. The next one is information overload. Here's the issue. Too much information, particularly from online sources. This can overwhelm players of any stage, but especially beginners. How do you fix that? Structured learning, step-by-step approaches, and don't jump between topics. Another one is lack of talent. Talent is something I have very strong opinions on. I'll talk about talent another day. But some people believe they lack the inbuilt talent, that thing that someone has that other people's don't needed to play well. Well, let me tell you something. I've seen it firsthand. Talent can sometimes be developed coming from dedicated practice. And remember, everybody progresses at their own pace. How about life changes and time constraints? Changes in work, changes in school, changes in your family commitments. This all disrupts practice and can bring you down. How about this? Finding small pockets of time for practice, adapting routines. I love helping people find time to practice and get practice schedules put together for them. This is lifelong things. So we're not going to be down on ourselves if this week you didn't get to practice a whole lot. Just keep it going. How about comparing yourself with other players? If you're constantly comparing yourself to accomplished players, this is going to be demoralizing to you. You need to emphasize how unique every player's journey is. Yours is different than someone else's, and highlight that even accomplished musicians get started and they don't know what they're doing. So many players think that if they go through any of these things that I just listed for you, that it's your fault. You're to blame. You must not have the talent to do these things. Let me tell you something. Here's the secret. We've all gone through these. The difference is that some players let it get to them. Some players even quit because of them, but others persevere. So now I'm going to introduce the topic for today. These are the two words that are steering your direction currently as a guitar player. You may not even know it. Definitely, you probably aren't thinking about that. Passion and patience. You think that these are two different sides of the coin, that they're opposites. You're either passionate or you're patient. The truth is that these both work together to move you forward on the guitar. Problem is that instead of being the driver, we're usually the passenger with these things. They're behind the wheel. Think of it. Have you experienced either of these or the lack of either of these during your time with the guitar? I'm nodding. Are you nodding? 100%. I feel people all over the world nodding in agreement with me right now. Passion and patience. Today, I'm going to give you back some control over these things. We're going to put our hands right on the steering wheel and we're going to start to move forward. Let's talk about passion. Definition of energy, right? Excitement. Passion is a strong, exciting feeling that you have when you love doing something. It makes enthusiasm, dedication, and makes you happy when you're involved in something that you're enjoying to do. Some examples of this is being able to play like riffs and songs that are meaningful to you, you wish you could play. Or just playing guitar, passionate for that. It makes you feel good. There's a lot of feeling in this. You're longing for something. Some people would say, I've heard this a lot too, I'd finally be happy if I could just do this one thing, right? And then you can do it. What happens? We won't get into that. How about the things that playing the guitar can do for you? Attention, playing in bands, performing for others, conquering something. People get passionate for figuring things out, difficult things, meaningful things too. Let's flip it. Let's go to patience now. What's the definition of patience? Patience is the ability to wait calmly and not get upset, especially when things take longer than you think. It involves staying calm and understanding when something is delayed or when you have a challenge. Examples of this are all over guitar. It's in the utility of guitar. Building calluses, that takes patience. Mastering chords takes patience. Strumming, timing, rhythm, those all take patience. Learning scale patterns, the big one, that takes tons of patience. What I want to do is I want to take both of these things and talk about where the problem lies. And that's in the joy of playing guitar. For me, this is where I want to stay. I want to be joyful in my guitar playing. To do that, you have to have a balance, passion and patience. When they're in balance, that's when you're going to really feel content with your guitar playing. If you have all passion and no patience, that's just pleasure, right? Pleasure is external. You get pleasure from applause. You get pleasure from compliments, from rewards. These things all equal pleasure, and those are fleeting. They don't last very long, and usually they don't amount to anything. But if you go the other way, if you have all patience and no passion, then you're just enduring. And if you're just enduring, if you're just going through the motions, that shows in music. It shows right through. But when you have your passion and patience balanced, you move towards something called joy. This is where joy is different from pleasure. Joy is internal. Joy comes from your own feelings. It's not dependent on external things. It comes from your thoughts. Joy is long lasting. You can find extended happiness in the doing of something. Let's say you have an awesome sports car. You're one of those people who've got a really, really, really nice car and it goes fast. I mean, really fast. Is that what it's all about? Is it all about going fast? Is that the only reason you love that car? Do you get in the car, start the ignition, and then floor it right out of the driveway, right through the neighborhood? Maybe some people do. I don't know. But that's not, it's not just all about going as fast as you can go. Part of the experience would be being in the car, spending time in the car, tuning the car just right, talking with other people who also have the same car. There's a lot of different things that you could do that are not just the pleasure part of it. I like to ask myself, is this something that I'm doing on the guitar that's worth a journey? If I can answer yes to that, I know I start to have my patience and passion balanced. My whole point today is to bring this to light, to bring something to light that we're all going through, but we very rarely think about. Usually these things just happen. Well, it looks like I've got no patience today. Or, I don't know. I'm just not passionate about this anymore. What I would like for you to do is I'd like for you to be mindful of these things. Be mindful of your passion and your patience, not just for guitar, but in your life too. These are the make or break things that are going to help you move forward. If you notice over the past couple months, I'm slowly sharing a few of my high performance guitarist tips. And today I would like for you to do something for me. I'd like for you to keep your passion and patience at the top of mind. I encourage you to start a journal, a guitar journal. Maybe it's right on the pages that you practice from. Maybe it's just in the corner of something, but a daily journal where you put down your goals, your passions, and record your moments of patience or lack of moments of patience. It could be as simple as a scorecard. Just give it a 1 through 10. Where am I between 1 through 10 today? And you'll be able to visually see when things are out of balance. And then this could lead you to make some really great decisions in your guitar playing life to have you really start to move forward. Why is it important to be more patient? Why am I not as passionate as I once was? What can I do about this so I'm not just going through the motions without any progress? And I hope you enjoyed this one. I'm going to say, thank you for listening to this today. Passion and patience. This isn't the coolest. This is not the most clickbait topics that you can talk about, especially on YouTube. But if you can see where I'm trying to lead you, this is much more exciting than learning a single song or some sort of exercise that you could find on a YouTube search. I hope you can get your patience and passions into balance. I hope I could say it after going to the dentist, and start moving your musicianship ahead at light speed. Don't forget about the early bird special. It's the Solos Make Sense bundle that I'm bringing back just for listeners right now. It's over at playguitaracademy.com. Solos That Make Sense bundle. Just put little dashes in between those words. Or even easier, just click the link in the description. Thank you so much. I'm going to call it. That's a wrap. Thanks for joining me today for the Play Guitar Podcast. Make sure to hit the button below to subscribe to the show. And if you've benefited from this podcast, please leave a favorable Apple Podcast review. It's the best way to make sure we get this very valuable content to more guitar players around the world. And if more help, structure, and results in your playing, and some really cool stuff coming up in the new year, what are you waiting for? Play Guitar Academy is here. Join the world's most exciting and carefully planned guitar system. Together, we're going to build your online home base for guitar. Thanks again. I will see you next week. Bye-bye.